just here to talk about crypto news briefly with Bill, me, and just kind of share our thoughts on what's happening in the current market, sentiment, world events. Please post down if you have any news you want us to cover down in the comments. This is going out to YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, everywhere. And wherever you are, happy 4th of July. And Bill, how are you?
Good evening. Thanks for having me on the show.
Awesome, awesome. So what you have for barbecue?
All right. Well, in Texas, we cook with like smoke, right? So,
the smoke show.
Right. The smoke show. So we had a brisket, right, that we had like slow cooked for like 12 hours. We had like the classic Texas sides, and then we did a small barbecue with like just like simple things like hot dogs.
Nice, nice. So quick shout outs to King Nick, to the Moon Crypto. What's up? Christy, TMC, TCM, Muhammad. What's up? FN. Salute everybody. Yeah. So I think one of the big news items that's really been, I would say, talked about a lot, especially in my investor network, has been the Avalanche token sale. So let me just quickly do. Okay, yeah. So let me just quickly do an overview on the token sale, because I know there has been lots of fanfare. So let me share my screen. Just give me 1 second here to pull it up. So this is Avalanche. So Avalanche, or AVA, is called by AVA Labs, or AVAX is the token name. So they're doing the token sale on July 8th, and there has been lots of excitement around it. Now we have done the full in-depth review on tokenmetrics.com. So just go there to go through the fundamentals of the technology. This right now is just really just kind of doing a high-level overview on the project. And honestly, I myself, I was very impressed by their white paper. That part, I cannot lie. I was reading the white paper at almost midnight, about 2 days ago. And I was planning to just kind of skim through it, but I cannot put the white paper down. Like, that's how good the white paper was. It was very good. Great explanation of their technology while being technical, but not too technical, kind of still keeping things very high level, simple for somebody who has some experience in crypto to be able to understand. So, I mean, from a technology standpoint, we think it's pretty good technology. Go to Token Metrics to view the full technology score. Fundamentals wise, it's still pretty early, but that's normal for any pre-market or private token that hasn't launched yet. So there isn't really liquidity. We don't know what exchanges will have this listed. Most people I know who are investing are pretty much speculating. They're pretty much gambling, essentially, right? They're basically assuming that somebody else will buy their bags in a few days or in a week or so, right? Because there's so much hype and FOMO around this project. Now, with that being said, though, I have watched the videos. I've seen 2 or 3 videos by Emin, I believe is how it's pronounced, and he does a great job really explaining. He does a great job in terms of explaining the technology. The main concerns we have, though, at a high level, the token sale. So if we go here, early investors are getting it at 33 cents. Well, for anybody out there who wants to get it with no lockup, it's about 85 cents. But it's not too bad, because you do have the option to get it at 50 cents versus 33 cents. So the discount is not too bad. But at this point in time, having tokens locked up is a concern to anybody who wants to invest into something pre-market. So right now, we'll still take the stance that investing into IEOs, ICOs, so actually this is technically an ICO because it's not happening on an exchange, which begs the question, are ICOs back? I mean, because in the last few weeks, we've been seeing a lot more public sales, and we all thought token sales were pretty much dead, but it looks like they're trying to make a comeback. I'm not sure if it's partly because of the whole DeFi movement and trend, but it is pretty exciting to see. So I definitely do recommend that people go out there and just kind of look into this. The main concern we do have, however, the team is pretty young. Pretty much, so I would say pretty much almost everyone on the team comes from academia. They're basically academics who haven't really shown too much traction or experience in the business world. So that is a concern. I would say probably half of the team or more were students at Cornell, which is where Emin is from as a professor. Now, Cornell is known for having a great computer science department, but it is kind of concerning when people are basically students, grad students who are now working with the project and haven't really shown much career experience. But outside of that, though, white paper is great. Definitely worth keeping an eye on your watch list. That's kind of my take on that. Bill, any comments in terms of token sales and what's kind of been trending recently?
Well, just one quick one. When a bunch of, say, students and professors can put some decent technology together and then do an ICO, it may be a sign that there's a little bit of, say, the word in markets that we use is froth, right? Meaning people may be getting too excited and they may be taking advantage of kind of a FOMO mentality. That's what I think of when I'm listening to your story that you just told.
Yeah, so somebody's asking, is this a DeFi project? No, so this is a blockchain. Now, one thing I will give them, so to kind of explain the technology without getting too technical in it, they definitely do have a very interesting way of trying to scale blockchains. So what they do is they let people create other blockchains on their blockchain. So it's kind of like an interoperable blockchain in a way. So you can have one, you basically have the main blockchain on top of it, which is the Ava Labs blockchain. But you can have other networks. The term they have for it, what's the term? I'd have to go back in the white paper, but they do have they have other subnets, I think it's called, of blockchains that can be totally different consensus mechanism. So you could have proof of work consensus, you could have proof of stake, you could have hybrid. So each person who opens a new subnet has an option of choosing their own consensus, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of like an internet of blockchains in a way. And they claim they're able to basically check all the boxes, as most new blockchain products claimed it. Right? They're basically claiming they're the best thing since sliced bread. Now, it definitely did catch my eye on a technology standpoint. So definitely worth keeping an eye on. But I don't have any plans to invest at the moment. But I do know some people who do. All right, but tell us what you think. Do you plan to invest in Ava Labs? Do you think the project shows promise, or are you just done with token sales, public sales, and you plan to just wait until things are trading? Tell us down in the comments below. Okay, so in a different news item, this isn't really crypto, but I see people are talking about it here in the comments, so maybe we bring it up. So Kanye West is running for president, he claims on Twitter. And surprisingly, this has gotten lots of traction in the crypto space. And I think mainly because Kanye sometime back did say he was pro Bitcoin. So let me just pull up this tweet. So basically Kanye said he's running for president. Then to make things even more viral, Elon Musk says he supports him for president. I think all this, to me, just really seems like a stunt to kind of just have more, to just kind of, I guess, get the news, the news wave. Okay, so here's the article. So Kanye West starts off July 4th fireworks with White House 2020 bid, plans to take on Trump and Biden. Now, without getting too political, I just think this is pretty hilarious, if anything. Now, everyone knows, at least those who follow me on Instagram, you guys know I am a fan of Kanye West's music. I mean, I think he's definitely one of the greatest musicians of all time. And he's also done actually a great job with his fashion company, the Yeezys, turning that into $1 billion company. So, I mean, he's definitely done some great things, but he's definitely very controversial. He's very he has strong opinions. He's also gone through some mental issues as well. But it's very exciting to see, I guess, in a way, how the American zeitgeist is evolving, if that's the best way of putting it. Because first of all, I don't think he has a chance of actually winning. And then I think he's too late already, because some states you can't even get on the ballot. So to me, this just seems either it's just a way to kind of just get more attention in the news, or he's just kind of doing a dry run for 2024. But with that being said, Bill, what's your take on this fiasco?
All right. Well, obviously, it's a really good thing to laugh at, right? But what this guy may be tapping into is, you have a presidential race between like two really old guys, right? One of them, the current president, kind of messed up the coronavirus crisis, and one guy who played a lot of golf when he was working for Obama, right? So in some circles, you may say for president, we don't have a huge choice. And Kanye West may be doing something like saying, I can tap into this protest mentality. What happens if Kanye West does get, I don't know, 10, 15% of the vote, right? I mean, what happens if people...
I'll be shocked if he gets that high, but hey, anything is possible.
Right. And this may also start a trend, right, of other people doing the same thing, right? Of other people going saying, I can tap into the protest vote, and kind of turn in parts of the presidential election into a little bit of a circus. But I think this guy, from a PR perspective, has got the right idea, because I think somebody told him that, he gets a certain percentage of the vote and is not a joke. Mm-hmm. That's almost more newsworthy than who wins, I think.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true as well. It kind of, because we've seen so many people now kind of come from the unknown and just essentially build their brands on just running for president. Like I know Andrew Yang recently kind of went viral on social media by doing interviews with Joe Rogan and some other people. So I think his social following basically 10x'd by just running for president. So, for anybody out there who wants to kind of get more attention, it's definitely becoming more of a viable strategy to just, rather than just try to grow things organically, just tell people you're running for president. Quite frankly, I have thought about doing the same thing, but everyone knows I was not born here. But for anybody out there wanting to build a brand, just say you're running for president. Okay, all right. So lots of people talking about Energy Web Token. Okay, have you heard about that, Bill? Energy Web Token?
I actually think somebody brought it up on the last show. I haven't researched it, but I can pull it up now.
Yeah, because I have been hearing about it. I think some YouTubers have been marketing the hell out of this one. But quite frankly, I haven't really done a deep dive into it. But here, let's do that now. And hopefully it's positive, because we know every time we trash a project, people don't like getting their investments trashed. Okay, all right. So this is the Energy Web Chain. I assume this is the same token people are talking about. So the Energy Web Chain is a public enterprise-grade blockchain platform designed for the energy sector's regulatory, operational, and market needs. Okay. So the grid's new digital DNA is here. So it's a public blockchain open to all utilities. This reminds me of Power Ledger, just looking at this pretty quickly. So it looks like they already have a mainnet. And this is their token. Okay, so let's take a look at this. All right, so they have over 9,700 addresses, block time of 5 seconds. Okay. Now, first thing that comes to mind is what's different about this versus all other blockchains? That has a different use case. Because I'm just kind of trying to see. Okay, let's see if we have any information on the team. Actually, is there a GitHub? Let me take a look real quick. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing a GitHub page. So I'm not sure if it's open source. Can somebody maybe chime in the comments if it's open source? Okay, let's go to the team real quick. Okay, so looks like a pretty decently sized team. Joseph, blockchain engineer. Is he the lead engineer? Okay, going to his LinkedIn. Chronologic, Gigster, Ericsson intern, Cisco for 1 year. Okay. Let's go back real quick. I wonder who the lead is. Okay, seems like doesn't really like. Okay, here we go. It's Chief Executive Officer. So not sure why he was barred there. Maybe just based on how it's set up there. Bill, is there any trading activity on TradingView for this?
I looked. Is it EWT is the symbol?
EW. Yeah, that's a good question. Let me take a look. Yes, EWT is the token name.
No, it's not on TradingView.
No, TradingView. Okay, so we can't really give any technical analysis. Okay, so looking at this here. So Vodafone for 4 years, NEC for 2 years, ING for 4 years. Okay, he definitely seems to have a good business pedigree. That's Walter, the CEO. All right, but without kind of getting too deep into everything, let me just see if we can pull up the white paper. Okay, so this looks like their stack. So they have trust, utility, and toolkits. We have validator nodes, utility nodes. I mean, I think going after a single domain, utilities or energy, is a pretty interesting idea, but it's also makes it a smaller idea. So that's kind of something that you kind of have to balance out. Now, if we pull up how they've been doing on CoinMarketCap, this is, I think, why there's been lots of hype around it. So if we take a quick look here. Okay, so they have no market cap as of yet or circulating supply. But if we look at the price action, it's gone from basically as low as 55 cents. And now, so from 55 cents to $7.60 at the peak. And now it's about $5.71. So, I mean, not too shabby. But the question is that speculation or was that real? Because let me just see if I can just quickly calculate that return. So let's say 760 to 2.5. So it's about a 14x. So yeah, about 14x return on your money. Not bad. And it's time. Okay, then let me take a look. Okay, so there's a GitHub. So we have, let's go to GitHub Insights. Okay, let's do in the last 1 month. Okay, so this shows no code in the last 1 month. Let's see if there's a different repository. Okay, so this seems to have the most activity, Origin. And that's for Monero, MetaMask. Okay, so yeah, this seems to have the most activity. So if we go to the last 1 month, they've had 6 authors, 256 commits. Okay, not bad. Yeah, I mean, we definitely would have to do a deeper dive into it, but I mean, looks like right now there has been lots of hype and FOMO around this token. Okay, so people are saying Chico Crypto has been talking about it. Yeah, so if Chico Crypto is talking about it, then I can definitely see why it's been pumping. People are saying it's going to be top 40 market cap, around 300 million. There's a reason. Okay, well, I would say, I mean, go cautiously because we've been through that before back in 2017 when projects pumped. Like don't forget Icon and others when they pumped, or even Power Ledger, which was kind of the same project. Ledger did a 30x, then came back down to below ICO price. So that's kind of the altcoin game. So definitely be cautious. If you're already up on your money, definitely take profit. It's definitely wise to take some profit. Anything to add to that, Bill?
Yeah, no, I think that's well said. I mean, if you don't necessarily know what it is, or it's hard to figure out what it is right off the bat, and it's pumped 14x, again, this goes back to this whole fraud thing. You can take advantage of it, but if you've looked at your account and you say, wow, I've made a lot of money on this, that's normally the sell signal.
Yeah. So take your profits, lock in profits. Nobody ever went crazy taking profits. All right. So tell us what you think about the project down below. Okay. So people are saying issue with the volume. Okay. I've moved up the volume. Do you guys hear me now? Well, let me know down in the comments below how the volume is. It should be working now. I think might have been an issue with the mixer, but let me know if you have an issue with the volume. Okay, people are saying yes, volume up. Okay, all right. So one of the news items I do want to talk about, we have been talking about DeFi a lot, but I mean, DeFi just does not stop. I mean, it's so we have two news items from DeFi. Let me share my screen here real quick. Just give me 1 second again. Okay, so two news items. The first one is DeFi insurer Nexus Mutual has maxed out by the yield farming boom. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So for those who don't know, Nexus Mutual basically is decentralized insurance. So people who are playing around in the DeFi space who want to get insurance on their collateral, they can use Nexus Mutual as a way to kind of get insurance. So for example, people use it for lots of different things. So they also do have their own token here called the NXM token. This I've not really heard of before, but let me just take a look here. So they have currently $5 million on hand to cover claims, up to 1 million since earlier this month. Okay, but if we go back here, let's just take a look. So our product has honestly seen massive interest since yield farming kicked off. Nexus Mutual founder Hugh Karp told CoinDesk, with potential yields being so lucrative, many users are looking to protect themselves against the risk of smart contract failure. So it made its first payments earlier this year following attacks from, but anyway, I think it's pretty interesting that Nexus Mutual is really showing this. Is this the peak of DeFi? Because if we go to DeFi Pulse, we now have almost $2 billion locked up in DeFi. I mean, that's insane, because if we compare the 30-day growth, it's gone from $1 billion to 1.8 billion. And if we compare the last 90 days, it's gone from about 700 million to more than doubling. So, I mean, that's insane. I mean, we even see here, they have DeFi Pulse Farmer here on some kind of ad to their newsletter. I mean, there's now a Substack on yield farming. I mean, so that is, I'm not saying it's the top, but if you, as we said, if you've made profits, take some profits, because I've talked about this before earlier, that you want to buy from pessimists and sell to optimists. And right now there's so many optimists in the DeFi space. So we're not saying that the game is over, that it's time to close up shop, take our ball and go home. But, maybe it's coming to the end of the quarter. Maybe it's coming to a halftime intermission. So if you're up big time, take those profits, lock in profits. Maybe, I don't know, put it into something tangible. But yeah, any comments on that, Bill?
Yes. So this is like the big question in crypto, right? In other words, has like a mini alt season come to an end with some pretty intense FOMO in DeFi? Right now, I don't know, we'll do charts later, right? But DeFi kind of came to a halt and then just stopped, right? And things like this, when everyone's too excited about it, it's probably time to take your money, and then it's time to walk away for 20 days and then come back and buy a dip if it's really a legitimate theme, which we think it is. But, you know, you can have big dips in legitimate themes.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, let's check in here with our audience and see how we're doing. So this is going to be a short live stream. We'll also plan to have a more in-depth live stream as usual at 6 p.m. Eastern time. People are saying DeFi is only beginning. DeFi has just begun, more to come. Yeah, I think DeFi has just begun, but I mean, in terms of the trend, right? There is no Minty code for this live stream. Has DMM or DMG been covered? No, it hasn't. But honestly, I know people will roast me for this, but that's fine. So I have looked at DMG, right? So let me quickly pull that up, because that's been a fan favorite. It's been getting lots of fanfare in the DeFi space. And I almost kind of, I would say, yeah, I LOL'd when I looked into it. So let me pull up DMG token. Sorry, just give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay. Seems my window's not playing. Okay, yeah. So looks like they raised about $2 million, and I think this was through Uniswap or through some DeFi protocol. But where's the website? Okay. But what kind of, so okay, so for those who don't know, so DMM or DeFi money market basically lets you earn 6.25 interest on ETH, DAI, and USDC. Basically, both of these are stablecoins plus ETH, all backed by real-world income-generating assets. So that definitely seems like a very interesting concept, right? So basically, earn interest rates, or earn fixed income on your crypto, backed by real-world assets. So what kind of assets could that be? So that's what got me curious. So they have it directly on their blockchain explorer. And if we go here, they're basically all cars. So looks like they're giving out loans to cars. So here we got a 1999 Toyota Camry sedan. And interesting thing is this is on the IPFS blockchain. I mean, in a IPFS storage protocol, which is from the Falcon team. And Falcon is launching next month, I believe. So looking at this, it is pretty interesting. So this is basically the lien to the car. So the DMM Foundation buys this and puts this on a blockchain, and I think they basically share the returns with investors. So that is pretty interesting. But what got me laughing is going back to maybe this being time to take profits on DeFi. We now essentially have used car salesmen in DeFi. And no offense to the DMM team, but when used car salesmen kind of start DeFiing, maybe it's time to take some profits. But with that being said, though, I mean, that's not a judgment on the team itself or the token. So our team will do a more in-depth dive on the project and put it on our on tokenmetrics.com. But I mean, there's definitely lots of interest, but let's see what happens. Any comments on that, Bill?
Sure, lots. So it does make sense to take the prices of assets that have like totally collapsed, like, I don't know, cars, houses, you know, in the COVID environment. You know, if you can get something 40 or 50% off, to turn around and use that as collateral. But again, the reason it's not good is because, you know, if you actually have to go sell the collateral, you know, can you get money for it, right? So sort of the assumption behind these guys is that there's going to be a V-shaped recovery, right? They buy a bunch of cheap collateral and then they're assuming everything's going to go back to normal, right? The value of their collateral will rise That's how they want to give you 6%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not only that they're just used car salesmen, they're kind of making a bet on the economy as a whole, right? So that's bold. You got to give them that, but it's also dicey, right? That can go the wrong way in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean, so whoever's playing with DMM or DeFi, definitely share with us why you like the project, or maybe if there's anything we overlooked. Now, this is not in any way a review on the project. This is just kind of just early comments on just what we've initially seen. But there's definitely some interest in the project, and definitely curious to kind of just learn more why. So please share down in the comments below. Okay, so let's just do one last roundup on what's happening with Bitcoin. So in terms of Bitcoin news, I did see this. So this was on Reddit. Let me just share my screen here again. So this is actually Reddit and Monero. So here on Reddit, we have daily Monero transaction count has doubled over the last 365 days. Bitcoin's fell by 14%. So yeah, I haven't looked too much into it, but interesting to see that people seem to be gravitating to Monero. For those who don't know, Monero is a privacy coin, one of the more popular privacy coins out there, meaning that people can use it to send anonymous transactions. Okay, so here's a link to the actual chart data. So if we look at this, so if looks like it's not fitting correctly. Because so Bitcoin transactions, so Bitcoin still has more total transactions, but as we see here, Monero is also growing. So obviously Bitcoin has been around much longer than Monero. So basically what they're saying is Monero is growing at a faster rate than Bitcoin. But I mean, I don't think that's really any type of indictment on Bitcoin. Bitcoin being the #1 cryptocurrency based on market cap and trading volume, as you get bigger, it gets tougher and tougher to grow at a faster rate. That's just kind of the economies of scale. Right? Like even with equities, it's tougher for a Fortune 500 company to grow as fast as a new company, right? Like it's tougher for I mean, so in equities, you kind of have the PE ratio, right? And the PE growth ratio and the multiple. So it's easy for a venture-backed company to grow at a faster growth rate than a utility company, for example, or a big bank. That's why they kind of have other means to reward people for investing in them through dividends, for example. Bill, your thoughts on Monero and Bitcoin?
Okay, so obviously the level of economic uncertainty is so high that the idea of diversification has changed. And that's what the Monero data may be telling you, right? In other words, I need to make a certain amount of my wealth. I don't know. Can I use the word invisible? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to take it almost off the grid. And, you know, when you have this level of uncertainty, because you don't know what governments are going to do, you don't know what the economy is going to do, you don't know what's going to happen with the virus, it's natural for people to go, okay, you know, whereas I might buy oil or even gold or silver, you know, if I can't get a hold of gold or silver, like, okay, so I'm jumping around a little bit, but, you know, good luck finding gold or silver coins, right? They're gone.
Right.
So what's next? Well, you got to go to crypto. And that's what I think is driving Monero. It's diversification and it's fear.
All right. Well, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Okay, Bill, any last words before we wrap up Crypto Download?
No, Ian, I enjoyed the show. Enjoyed your 4th of July weekend. We'll see you in a couple hours.
All right. Thank you, Bill. And yeah, everyone out there, thank you as well. Thank you for watching Crypto Download. This was just kind of a nice short live stream. We'll also have the real live stream today at around 6 p.m. Eastern time. So be sure to subscribe, turn on alerts, and basically go to tokenmetrics.com and subscribe as well. With that being said, thank you, everybody. The moon is not the limit to the moon and beyond.